Cologne Cathedral. This building can be seen from almost anywhere in the city and from many other places. The majestic Cologne Cathedral seems to soar above the city rooftops. Of course, due to its height, the cathedral is an excellent landmark in the city. Since its completion, and it was back in 1880, the giant Cologne Cathedral has dominated the city with its towers heading upwards. The height of the North Tower is almost 158 meters, and the South Tower is almost 10 centimeters higher. It is worth noting that, despite its height, Cologne Cathedral is the second tallest building in the city, after the telecommunications tower. The occupied area is no less impressive. The length of the cathedral is 145 m, and the width is 86 meters. The total occupied area is almost 8,000 square meters, more than 20,000 people can be accommodated here at the same time. Agreed, something unearthly mystical can be seen in the image of the Cologne Cathedral. It is not for nothing that it is called the Council of the Devil. There is a terrifying legendary story about the history of the creation of Cologne Cathedral. The first stone in the foundation of the Gothic building was laid at the beginning of the 13th century to celebrate the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Apparently, the old cathedral was not respectable enough to keep the relics of the three venerable magi, which Archbishop Reinhold von Dossel took out of the city of Milan he conquered. These terrible relics caused a mass pilgrimage to the cathedral by believers from all over Europe. Therefore, it became necessary to build a new, large church to accommodate all the pilgrims who were arriving. Currently, Cologne Cathedral is the third largest religious building made in the Gothic style. As mentioned above, a large construction began on the day of the Blessed Virgin Mary in 1248, and was completed only in 1880. There are not many buildings and structures in the world that took more than 6 centuries to create. Why did the construction take such a huge period of time? There are many reasons: lack of funds, change of architects. But let's move on to the terrible legend, according to which the devil himself is involved in the history of construction. Let's start from the beginning. When the Archbishop decided to build a huge church, Master Gerhard von Riel was entrusted with leading the construction. The clergy gave the architect a year to provide a construction plan. The architect was pleased with the colossal order. He immediately started work, but things did not go well. Whenever it seemed to the master that the plan was executed without flaws, there was some error. The master corrected the mistake and created the perfect project again. But history repeated itself over and over again. Realizing that he had overestimated his skill, the architect decided to admit that such a construction was beyond his power. And so, being already on the verge of despair, he, walking along the banks of the Rhine, saw a stranger in construction clothes. The stranger was enthusiastically drawing something on a huge stone. When the architect came closer to the man, he was surprised to find that he was drawing on the stones nothing more than construction drawings of the cathedral he had planned. Gerhard began to ask a stranger to give him a project for any amount. To the architect's surprise, there was no need to persuade for a long time, and the man quickly agreed. But the price was too high and unusual. For the drawings, the devil, needless to say, it was him, wished to get the soul of the master. But even there, the demon did not stop there. Satan offered the architect a deal according to which he would build the cathedral completely in his place within 3 years. But for this he wanted to take not only the soul of the master, but in addition to receive the souls of his wife and child. The contract was concluded for exactly 3 years. The devil promised that if he did not have time to complete the construction by the time the roosters announced the beginning of the first day of the 4th year with their cry, then he would leave with nothing and would not disturb the architect and his family. Gerhard did not hesitate for a long time, thinking that 3 years was an impossible period for such construction, and signed the documents proposed by Satan. Needless to say, the life of the architect turned into real torture. He watched with horror the rapid pace of the construction of the Gothic cathedral. The wife, seeing that something was wrong with her husband, began to find fault with him with questions. The master plucked up courage and told his wife about everything. The woman, of course, was frightened, but, at the same time, she began to feverishly look for a way out. And, oddly enough, she found it. Remembering that the building had to be finished before the roosters crowed, she learned to copy the rooster's voice so well that the neighborhood roosters responded to the sounds. At the appointed time, the woman hid near the cathedral long before dawn, which was almost completed. The devil and his servants were finishing the construction of the last tower. And then there was the cry of a rooster. Many rooster voices responded to this cry. And although the hour of dawn had not yet come, Satan realized that he had been deceived. But the deal was determined precisely, until the first roosters. Out of helplessness, Satan began to destroy the almost built church. Despite the fact that the cathedral was almost completely completed, the completion of construction was delayed for several centuries. Perhaps because the building was cursed by the devil himself. Those who undertook to complete the cathedral soon died or simply abandoned this profitable cause. But, although it took a huge number of years, the Cologne Cathedral was completed. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Many amazing places are waiting for you.